Good morning. Today, before we begin, I want to talk a little bit about what I always refer to in class as the edge, your edge in a pose. The edge is the point that you don't want to go past. You come into a pose and you start going deep into the pose, and then you reach a point where you say, oh, I'm not going any further. Now, there's two things to remember when you find your edge. The first one is that the edge is going to be different for every person. So you should never look at me and think that your body should look exactly like mine in a pose. Probably sometimes you won't be able to go as deep as me, and sometimes you might be able to go deeper. But every body is different. We all have a different history in our body. Whatever injuries we've sustained throughout our lives and the different things that we've done regularly have caused our muscles to grow in different ways and our strengths to be in different areas of the body. And second of all, the other important thing to remember is that the edge is always changing. So what you were able to do yesterday, a week ago, is going to be very different from what you'll be able to do today. And that's because we practice and we push our bodies, and our flexibility increases, our strength increases, but it might not always be being pushed outward. Sometimes it might come in a little bit closer, and you'll find that you won't be able to go as deep into a pose as you were able to the day before or the week before because of something that happened. Maybe you slept wrong and you have a weird discomfort in some part of your body that's not allowing you to do what you could previously. So just remember in every pose that the only person who knows where that edge is going to be is you. And you just need to really turn on the listening and hear what your body is trying to tell you for how deep you want to come into each pose. The last thing to know about the edge is that you never really want to be right up against that edge. You can find the edge, reach out and touch it a little bit and say, okay, that's where my ability ends. I'm not going any deeper than that. But at that point, you want to pull back just a little bit. Just like when you go to the Grand Canyon, you don't want to put your toes right over the edge of the canyon. It's a little scary. You want to stand back a ways and enjoy the view from far enough away so that you don't feel like you're about to fall into the canyon. It's the same with our body and our abilities. Coming too close to that edge can risk injury. So you want to find your edge, pull back, and then push the edge from the inside. So you feel a bit of a stretch, you feel maybe slight discomfort. You can feel that you're getting that stretch and you're gaining some flexibility and some strength, but it's not enough to make you hurt. Yoga should never hurt. One thing that I remember one of my great teachers telling me is that yoga is not a no pain, no gain sport. You should never have any pain when you're doing yoga. And if you are, then there's something about that pose and the way that you're doing it that isn't quite right for your body. So just respect where you are in each pose and know that that's always fluid, that's always going to change. And notice how your body's changing every day, day to day. Just meet your body where it is in that moment. All right, let's begin. Today, we're going to start in child's pose. Find a comfortable kneeling position on your mat. You can have your knees together, or you can set them apart. Check back, make sure your toes aren't overlapping. Inhale, lifting your hands up overhead. Exhale, folding forward, hinge from the hips. Stretch your hands out in front of you. Relax your forehead down towards the ground. Round out through your back. Relax your arms down, letting your elbows come to rest on the floor. You can have your hands both pointing straight out, or you can bring your hands together with a little heart with your thumbs and index fingers. Close your eyes and begin to call attention to your breath here. Start to stretch your breath out. Nice long, deep breath. Lengthening each breath a little bit more than the last one. Feel your back rising and falling with each breath. Feel your lungs expanding and contracting. Filling up with fresh, clean air every time you breathe in. And pushing out every last breath of still air on each exhale. Start to find your yoga breath, the Ujjayi breath. Listening for the breath in the back of the throat. Constrict your throat just a little bit to make your breath nice and loud inside of your head. Focus on that sound of your breath, the sound of the ocean, and allow it to fill your mind completely. Push away all other thoughts of the outside world and bring your focus fully into your body. Here, now, inside of your skin, between the four corners of your mouth. Begin your body scan here. Starting from the tips of your fingers, work your awareness through your hands into your wrists, down to the elbows, into your shoulders and the back of the neck. Notice how your facial muscles feel today. And then move down the spine through your upper, middle, and lower back. Checking for any pain. Many of us hold a lot of tension in our backs, especially the upper back or the lower back, the sciatic. Just make yourself aware of where the pain is today, if there is any, if there isn't. Work your way through your hips and down into the legs, knees, ankles, and toes. As you go along, just make a mental note of anything that's off or sore today. Remember any injuries you have, old or new. That's what makes up the unique history of your body, that and your genetic makeup. So you're going to want to take all of that into account as you're moving through your poses. And remember that you can always take a break or modify any pose to fit your body. Just doing what's right for you and meeting your body where it is, here Now, at this moment, take a few more deep, full breaths here. Keeping your chest really low to the ground. Start to crawl your fingertips all the way over to the right. Hips can lean a bit to the right, to the left. Maybe you want to rest on your left cheek here. And now crawl your hands all the way over to the left. Hips lean a bit to the right. You can rest on your right cheek if you like. I think the speaker's a little too loud, so I'm going to turn that down. And now crawl your hands back to center and come into puppy pose. Walk your fingertips forward, lifting the hips up. Turn your chest reaches down towards the mat. Feel a nice gentle back bend. Stretch out the belly. On your next inhale, bring your hands back, lifting up your chest, coming to hands and knees, tabletop. Yeah, just make sure your knees are directly below the hips and the wrists come directly below the shoulders. Move through cat-cow, always going with the breath. Inhale to drop the belly down, roll the shoulders back and bring the gaze up or forward. Exhale, pushing the spine up towards the ceiling, relaxing the head and neck down, dropping the gaze through the knees. Keep moving just like that, always going with the breath. Nice and slow, warming up the back and belly. Come back to neutral spine on a breath in. And then sit back on your feet. You're going to come into camel pose here. Come to stand up on your knees. Tuck your toes under. Lifting your heels up. And then one at a time, we're going to windmill our arms back to the heels. Inhale, lifting the right arm up. Exhale, drop that right hand back down on the right heel. Left hand comes up, big breath in. Exhale, reaching the left hand back for the left heel. Take one more breath in here. And as you exhale, gently lean back. If it's okay on your neck, you can relax your head back. On your next inhale, lift up your chest, untuck your toes, and sit back on your feet just for a minute. That one can make you dizzy, so you always have to take a little break afterwards. And let's do our toe stretch. Plant your hands on the mat in front of you, tuck your toes under, and reach back. If your pinky toes don't want to go all the way under, you can help them along with your hands. And then lean back onto your heels. Sometimes this can feel really intense, like maybe it's too much. If it feels like it's too much to have all that weight down, you can plant your hands on the mat and just rock back and forth. Feel that nice stretch on the toes as you push your hips back towards your heels. It's much easier to regulate how much pressure is going on those toes with your hands on the ground, just using your hips. And release. Your hands are already on the ground. Plant them on the ground. Untuck your toes and tap out the tops of the feet. And then come to a seat. Easy pose. Like sitting cross-legged. If you can, open up your feet and knees so that both knees are touching the ground. If you feel like you can't get to that point, that's okay too. Inhale, lifting the hands up overhead. Exhale, folding forward, hinging from the hips. Stretch your hands out in front of you, keeping the spine really long. And relax your forehead down towards the ground. Round out through the back. On your next breath in, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest. Put your hands in your lap and start to do some gentle circles with your neck. They can be big or small, fast or slow, whatever feels right inside of your neck. And find circles going the other way. Bring your head back up to center. Reach down and switch your legs. Whichever leg's in front, push it to the back. Back leg comes out in front, so your legs are across the awkward way. It feels a little bit funny like this. One more time, folding over the feet. Inhale, hands high. On your next inhale, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest, bring your hands to your lap, and then make your way back to your hands and knees, tabletop. Roll over the knees or swing the legs around to the sides. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips up into downward facing dog. Pedal out your legs, bending one knee and then the other. Check in with the shoulders. Make sure you're keeping your shoulders moving down your back, towards your hips, out of your ears. Lift your right heel high. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, step the foot through between the hands and drop the left knee down to the mat. Inhale, rising up to low lunge. Remember, if you ever feel wobbly here, you can always drop your hands down to your knee to help with the balance. Once you get your hands up, turn your pinkies in to keep the shoulders moving down the back. Interlace your fingers, pointers up, take a deep breath in. Exhale, really gentle back bend, pushing the hips forward. Be real careful with the neck here. Come straight back up on a breath in. Exhale, release your hands, dropping your hands down to frame the front foot. Start to bring your weight back onto your left leg and lift the right toes up. Maybe you can sit all the way back onto that left foot. You can always have a block here underneath your right hip, if that helps. Crawl your fingertips forward, relaxing down over the right leg. Maybe you want to grab onto the right foot. Maybe you just want to set your hands here on either side of that right leg. Relax your head and neck down. Don't worry about getting very far down here. Notice where you feel that stretch. Maybe you feel it on the back of the right leg. On your next breath in, walk your hands back to lift up your chest. Just come back up onto your left knee and start to slide or scoot the right heel forward, coming towards the splits. You don't have to get down very far at all. You're just coming into this stretch, not trying to be Olympic gymnasts here. Just feeling it in our leg. You can find blocks on either side of the leg here. Plant your blocks underneath your hands at any height, or just plant your hands on the mat. Gently bend and straighten the front knee, exploring your range of motion in the pose. If you want to go deeper into the pose, you can bend your elbows back and lower down your head and neck over your front leg. On your next breath in, lift your chest up. Slide or scoot your right heel back and set your right foot down on the mat. Tuck your left toes under, left knee pops up. Look forward, take a big breath in. Exhale, stepping your left foot up to the right, forward fold at the front of the mat. Take a half lift to breathe in. Try to bring your torso parallel to the ground. Exhale, folding forward, relaxing the upper body down. Inhale, rising up to standing, bending your knees, rolling your spine one vertebrae at a time. Lift your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch. Inhale, hands high. Interlace your fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down to the right. Back up to center, breathing in. And to the left as you breathe out. Inhale, coming up to center. Exhale, standing back, bend real gentle with the neck. Straight back up to breathe in. Exhale, forward fold, hinging from the hips, keeping a nice long spine going down. Half lift to breathe in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Plant your hands, hop or step your feet back to your high plank, up or push up. Lower down halfway, keeping your elbows tucked in, back up, breathing in. Exhale, halfway down again. Don't go below your elbows. Inhale, pushing the chest through the shoulders. Up dog or cobra. Exhale, roll over your toes. Lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Left side, left heel comes up high. Take a deep breath in. Step the foot through between the hands as you breathe out and drop the right knee down to the mat. Rise up on an inhale to low lunge. Interlace your fingers, pointers up. Take a big breath in here. Exhale into your gentle back bend. Be really careful. This is a balance challenge. Come straight back up, breathing in. Exhale, release your hands down, framing the front foot, and bring your weight back onto your right leg. Lift your left toes up. Just sit back on that right leg. You can find the block here under your left hip. And then start to lean forward over the left leg. Plant your hands on either side of the leg or reach for the foot. Relax your head and neck down. Notice where you feel the stretch. You might feel it in your leg, in your back. On your next inhale, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest. And come up onto that right knee. And slide or scoot your left heel forward. You might have to pick your foot up a little bit if your mat's really sticky. Find your edge. Remember, you can pull back from that edge just a little bit so you're not too close to the edge. Plant your hands on either side of the leg, on the mat or on your blocks. Gently bend and straighten the front knee. Really nice and slow. Still warming up here, so we don't want to move too fast. If you want to go deeper, bend your elbows back, lowering down the chest over the front leg. On your next inhale, lift your chest up, slide or scoot the left heel back, and set your left foot down on the mat. Tuck your right toes under, right knee pops up, look forward, take a big breath in. Exhale, step your right foot up to your left, forward fold. Half lift as you breathe in. You can bring your hands to shins or float them over the ground. Folding forward as you breathe out, relaxing everything down. Rising up to standing on an inhale, bend the knees, let your arms dangle down to where your head comes up, and then lift them up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch again, this time starting to the left first. Inhale, hands high. Interlace your fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down towards the left. Back up to center, breathing in. And to the right as you breathe out. Inhale, coming to center. Exhale, standing back, bend cactus the arms or drop your hands to your back pockets. Straight back up to breathe in. Exhale, fold forward, hinging from the hips, leading with the chest. Take a half lift as you breathe in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. However you like it, you can drop your knees down to the mat if you like. Dog or cobra breathing. And if your legs are all the way on the ground, keep your elbows bent. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips to the sky. One more sun salutation, straight up and down this time, no side stretch. Bend your knees, lift your hands, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hopper step right between the hands, forward fold. Half lift as you breathe in. Forward fold as you breathe out. Inhale, coming all the way up to standing. Take your whole breath to get there. Exhale, hands to heart center. Straight back down this time. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, diving forward, nice and slow. Half lift to breathe in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Up dog or cobra to breathe in. And downward facing dog on your exhale. Lift your right foot high, take a deep breath in. Step your foot through between your hands as you breathe out. And rise up on an inhale to warrior one. Front toes pointing straight forward, back heels down at a 45-degree angle. The whole sole of the back foot should be down on the mat. Sometimes in warrior one, the back pinky toe edge kind of wants to peel up off the mat. Just peek back and make sure that's really rooted down. And then pull the left hip forward, trying to bring your hips as close as you can come to being squared off towards the short end of the mat, while still keeping that back foot down. Hands come up, turn the pinkies in. Coming into pyramid pose, straighten out the front knee, open out your arms wide to the sides. Take a deep breath in here. As you breathe out, hinge forward from the hips, keeping a nice long spine. Stop when your torso comes parallel to the ground and drop your gaze down to your big toe. Imagine you feel strings pulling your arms straight out in either direction. pulling the crown of the head forward. Take one more breath in here. Exhale, release your hands down to the ground. Again, here's a chance to use those blocks if you have them. Underneath your hands at any height is fine. Or just plant your hands right next to the foot. On either side of the foot, relax your head and neck down over your front knee. You can have a straight knee here. The knee is traditionally straight in the pose, but if that's not accessible to you, that's okay. You can also have a bend in that knee. You can also gently play with the bend. Bending, straightening, moving in and out of the pose, finding your edge on either side of the bend. Check back at your back foot. Make sure that pinky toe edge is still really rooted down to the mat. Let's come into revolve triangle pose. Left hand comes right next to the right foot on the mat or on a block. Bring all weight to your left hand. Inhale, lift your right arm high, opening up the chest toward the side. Try to bring your arms as close as you can come to being perpendicular to the floor. It's okay if they're not perfect, just reaching in that direction. If it's okay on your neck, feels okay, you can bring your gaze up towards your upper hand. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, release your right hand back down to the ground. Bend your right knee, rise back up to warrior one, breathing in. Exhale, opening out to warrior two. Pivot the back foot around, stretching your arms straight out in either direction. Front heels intersecting, back heel or the back arch. Feet are perpendicular to each other. Peek on the back hand, make sure it's nice and high. And then bring the gaze right over the front middle finger. Let's do our yoga jumping jacks with the breath. Inhale, knees straight, arms up overhead. Exhale, slowly sinking back down to warrior two. 4 more, just going at your own pace with your breath. Let your breath be your guide. 3, 2, and last one. Reverse warrior, breathing in, drop the left hand back down the back leg, or wrap your left hand back behind you, reaching towards the right hip. Right arm comes arcing overhead. It's almost like a side bend here, bending towards the left. You should feel a nice stretch on the right side of your body. If it's okay on your neck, you can bring your gaze up towards the ceiling. Take one more breath in here. As you breathe out, transition to extended side angle. Drop your right elbow down to the right knee and reach your left arm overhead. You want to imagine you're making a single straight line from your left middle finger all the way through the left heel. It's not going to be perfectly straight. We've got curves all over the body, in the waist and the legs and the armpit. With that energy line, that's nice and straight. And let's do those 2 poses 3 more times, flowing with the breath. Inhale to reverse warrior. Exhale back down to extended side angle. 2 more, going at your own pace, following your breath. And last one. Come back up to warrior two, breathing in. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, framing the front foot. Send your right heel high as you breathe in. Exhale, double dip chaturanga. You can keep your foot up or you can drop it down. Up dog or cobra to breathe in. Coming on the tops of the feet. Exhale, roll over your toes, lift your hips up. Downward facing dog. Let's try that sequence on the left. Lift your left leg high. Take a big breath in. Step the foot through between the hands as you breathe out and rise up to warrior one. Check on that back foot, making sure the pinky toe edge is really rooted down to the mat. Back foot's at about a 45-degree angle. Don't worry about being perfect. Just kind of pointing off toward the corner of the room. Front toes pointing straight towards the short end of the mat. And pull the right hip forward, making sure to really keep that back foot glued down to the mat. Once you've got your feet comfortable, lift your hands up and turn your pinkies in. Pyramid pose on this side. Straighten out the front knee. Open out the arms wide to the sides. Take a deep breath in here. Folding forward on your breath out, hinging from the hips, keeping the spine really long as you go down. Stop when your torso comes parallel to the ground. Drop your gaze to the big toe. Feel the strings pulling your arms out, pulling the crown of the head forward. One more big breath in here. Exhale, release. Drop your hands down to the ground. Find your blocks here under your hands if you like. Or just plant your hands on either side of the foot and relax your head and neck down over your front knee. Remember that front knee can be straight, but it doesn't need to be. You can gently bend and straighten, exploring your edge on either side of the bend. Let's transition to revolve triangle. Plant your right hand right next to the left foot on the mat or on a block. All weight comes to the right hand. Inhale, lifting your left arm high. Opening up the chest toward the side. Stretch those left fingers straight up to the sky or as close as you can come. And if it's okay on the neck, bring your gaze up towards your upper hand. One more deep breath in here. As you breathe out, release your left hand back down to the ground. Bend your left knee, rise back up to warrior one, breathing in. Open out to warrior two as you breathe out. Pivot the back foot around, bringing your feet perpendicular. You might want to widen the stance here. Check in on your front knee. Sometimes in warrior two, the front knee starts to fold down towards the ground. You want to push it back in line with the ankle, making sure that front knee is directly over the ankle. Peek on the back hand, make sure it's nice and high, and bring the gaze over the front middle finger. And let's do our yoga jumping jacks here. 5 of them, going at your own pace with your breath. Inhale, knee straight, arms up. Exhale, bending the knee, bringing the arms back out towards the sides. 4 more, stretching out your motion to match your breath. Taking the whole breath to complete each motion. 3, feel every muscle working together. 2, and last one. Inhale to reverse warrior. Right hand can stretch back down the back leg or wrap back towards the left hip. Left arm comes arcing overhead. Feeling a nice stretch here on the left side of the body, kind of bending towards the right. Gaze comes up towards the ceiling if that feels okay on the neck. One more big breath in here. Exhale, coming to extended side angle. Drop the left elbow down to the left knee. And reach your right arm straight out overhead, lining up the arm with the leg. Making a nice single line of energy from the right middle finger all the way to the right heel. And let's do those 2 poses 3 more times with the breath. Inhale, rising up, reverse warrior. Exhale, slowly coming back down to extended side angle. 2 more, taking your whole breath to complete the motion. It's a constant, slow movement here. And last one. Inhale, coming back up to warrior 2. Exhale, cartwheeling the hands down, frame the front foot. Left heel goes up high to breathe in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Up dog or cobra on your inhale. And downward facing dog as you exhale. Let's take a little break here. Drop your knees down to the mat. Coming into child's pose, you can have your knees together or open them up a little bit. Relax your forehead towards the ground. Hands can be stretched out in front of you or wrapped back towards the feet. Close your eyes here. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Feeling the breath in your back, in your belly. Stretch your breath out. Try to come back to a nice, strong, deep breath again. If your hands are wrapped back towards your feet, bring them back out in front of you. On a breath in, lift your chest up, coming to hands and knees, tabletop. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, lift your hands, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hover, step right between the hands, forward fold. Half lift to breathe in. Forward fold as you breathe out. Rising up to standing on a breath in. Take your time coming up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do some balancing poses here. Let's start with tree pose. I'm going to mirror you, so I'll be doing the opposite side. Bring all weight to your left foot. Right knee is pointing straight out to the side. If you feel wobbly today, maybe you have a cold and your inner ear is a little bit stuffed up. Sometimes that makes you feel unbalanced. You can always find your balance by holding onto a piece of furniture or grabbing onto a wall. You've got 3 foot placement options for that right foot. You can keep the toes on the ground and set the sole of the foot on the ankle. Raise it up so your heel comes in that little curve right underneath the knee, or come all the way up on the thigh. Wherever you are, find your leg balance to start. You can just work on the legs today, keeping your hands on your hips or at heart center. Or if you like, you can include the arms. Inhale, lift your hands up overhead. One last deep breath in here. Release as you breathe out. Shake it all up. And let's try the other side. All weight comes to the right foot. Left knee is pointing straight out to the side. Same foot placement options here. It's okay to take a different foot placement option on this side. Sometimes we've got a kink only on one side. You gotta respect that. That's what's going on in your body, and that's what it is. Keep the toes on the ground, swirl the foot on the ankle. Raise it up, heel underneath the knee, or come all the way up on the thigh. Keep your hands on your hips, or bring your hands to heart center, just focusing on the legs. Or maybe you want to include the arms. Inhale, hands come up overhead. Take one last deep breath in here. And release as you breathe out. Shake it all up. Let's come into ragdoll pose. Bring your feet about hip width distance apart. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, folding forward from the hips. Nice long spine going down. Relax your head and neck. And then grab for opposite elbows. And start to sway side to side. You can bend one knee and then the other. Feel all the kinks falling right out of your spine through the top of the head. Before you release, make a note of how your arms are crossed so you can cross them the opposite way the next time you come in. Release your hands down to the ground. Weight comes to the fingers to heel till your feet back together again. Bend your knees. Inhale all the way up to standing nice and slow. Hands float up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Chair pose. And today we're just going to hold our chair pose. Sometimes I feel like holding a chair pose is harder than moving in a chair pose. So if it feels difficult to you, that's okay. You're in good company. You can have your feet together, big toes touching with some space between the heels. If you bring your heels together, you'll notice your ankles start to bang against each other, and that gets really uncomfortable. So you just want to leave at least an inch or so between those heels if your toes are together. Or you can choose to have your feet on two different train tracks. Whatever feels right to you is fine. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, sitting back into your chair. Push your hips down and back. Wiggle the toes. Make sure most of the weight's in the heels. Lift the spine up. Feel the crown of the head stretching up towards the sky. You want to be sitting nice and straight and tall, as close as you can come here. Let's see if we can hold it in for 3 to 5 more breaths. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, release, folding forward. Half lift as you breathe in. Exhale, folding forward. Release your hands down to the ground. Weight comes back to the fingers. Heel till your feet out. Hip width distance apart. Coming back into ragdoll. Grab for opposite elbows and then cross your arms the awkward way. Opposite of how you crossed them last time. Gently rocking side to side. Bending one knee and then the other. Head and neck are just dangling down. Imagine you feel your spine, water falling down towards the ground. Release your hands back down to the mat. Weight comes to the fingers to heel till your feet back together again. Take a half lift, breathing in. Exhale, double dip, chaturanga. Plant your hands, hop a step back to your high plank. The soles of the feet parallel to the wall behind you. Inhale, back up again. Exhale, halfway down. Dog or cobra, breathing in. Downward facing dog on your breath out. Drop your elbows down to the mat, coming into a forearm plank. And then we're going to come into a dolphin. Dolphin is like downward facing dog with your forearms down. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, lift your hips up, coming into dolphin pose. Let's flow like that 4 more times. Inhale to forearm plank. Exhale, lifting the hips up to dolphin. 3, 2, and last one. Come back to your forearm plank. And then lower all the way down, taking a little rest here. Stack your hands and rest your forehead on your stacked hands. Or you can rest on a cheek and wrap your hands back behind towards your hips, palms facing up. Close your eyes. Reconnecting with the breath once again. On your next breath in, lift your chest up and come back onto your forearms. And then bring your left arm out at an angle in front of you. Kick your right foot up, reach your right hand back, grab onto that right foot, and pull the right foot in towards your hips. Release and switch sides. Right arm comes out at an angle in front of you. Kicking the left foot up, reach back with your left hand. Pull that left foot in towards the hips. Release and come into bow pose. Both feet kick up. Reach both hands back, grabbing outside the ankles with both hands. On a breath in, lift your legs up off the ground to peel up your chest, keeping the gaze really low on the ground in front of you to protect your neck. One more big breath in, lifting even higher. And release. One more time, taking a rest. You can stack your hands again and rest your forehead on your hands, or if your head was turned to one side, turn it to the other side, resting on the opposite cheek. Wrap your hands back towards your hips, palms facing up. Bring your hands right underneath your shoulders. On a breath in, push your chest up and make your way to a seat. Boat pose. Knees are pointing up towards the sky. Start by interlacing your fingers outside of the legs and just sitting up really tall, lengthening the spine. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, tuck your fingers inside the creases of both knees and lean back to float the feet. If that's enough, stay right there, or you can release your hands out to the side. And if you really want to challenge, maybe some core work, you can do some boat sit-ups. Inhale, straighten out the legs, lean back, but don't touch the ground. Exhale, coming back into boat, bending the knees, lifting up the chest. 4 more with the breath, inhaling to open. Exhale, closing it back up again. 3, 2, and last one. Drop your feet down to the mat, knees pointing up towards the sky. Bring your hands behind you so your fingers are pointing towards your hips, and gently windshield wiper the knees, side to side, releasing the hips. And then come onto your back. We're going to do a supine pigeon here. Knees are pointing up towards the sky. Lift your right foot up and cross your right ankle over your left knee. With your right hand, you can either push that right knee away, or you can reach your right hand in between the legs. Left hand comes around the outside. Interlace your fingers outside that left leg and pull it in towards your chest. If this isn't comfortable, you can also just lift up the lower left leg and grab underneath the thigh and the crease of the knee right there. Flex your right toes to protect your knee. Try to push your tailbone back down flat on the mat so you've got opposite forces working on the hip. Release and switch sides. Left ankle crosses over the right knee. Left hand is either pushing that left knee away, or the left hand can reach in between the legs and the right arm comes around the outside. Interlace your fingers outside the leg or inside the crease of the knee. Pull the legs in towards the chest. Flex your left toes. Push your tailbone back down flat on the mat. And release. Hug both knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lifting your forehead up to your knees, squeezing into a little ball. Release your head back down on the mat. Open out your arms wide and feet. Float your legs to an imaginary tabletop. 90 degrees on knees and hips. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, dropping your legs down all the way to the right. Keeping those knees together. Try to keep the 90-degree angle in your knees and your hips. If your knees are popping up off the ground, you can tuck your right fingertips inside the crease of the left knee to help them stay down. And then bring your gaze over to your left hand to complete your twist. If your right fingers are tucked inside the knee, release your right hand back out to the side. Lift your knees up to center on a breath in. Exhale, dropping them down towards the left, all the way to the ground. If they're popping up, you can tuck your left fingers inside the crease of the right knee and bring your gaze over to your right hand to complete your twist. Release your left hand back out to the side. Lift your knees up to center, breathing in. Happy baby pose. You can hold outside your knees with your knees bent, or you can open up your feet and reach for the pinky toe edges of the feet, and then push your tailbone back down flat on the mat. Gently rock side to side here. You can also straighten out one leg and bend the other knee. And trade back and forth like that a couple times. And release. Make your way into Shavasana. Our final resting posture. This can look however you're most comfortable. Shavasana is traditionally on your back, but if that is not comfortable for you today, you can always rest on your belly or even in a seat. Lift your heart up and pull the shoulders down the back. Bring your chin into your chest and rock your head side to side to just let your head fall back to its natural center point. Release your body. Let all the tension flow out of you. Feel the earth supporting you. Imagine you're melting into the ground. Release your breath, making your way back to natural breathing. And release your mind, just watching your thoughts come and go, as if they're little fishies swimming by you in a river. You see them and then they swim away downstream and disappear to be replaced by something new. Find a few moments of stillness to complete your practice today. Blink your eyes open, start to make your way back up to a seat. Thank you all so much for joining me today for yoga. Namaste.